On this week's episode of What's Up Weekly, some of Bloomington's most popular restaurants are putting up heated tents as a socially distanced solution to continue outdoor seating in the colder months.
And how soon is too soon to put on some Jingle Bell rock? Well, we asked students their opinion on when it's socially acceptable to start listening to Christmas music. What's Up Weekly starts now.
Welcome to this week's episode of What's Up Weekly. I'm Noelle Friel.
And I'm Anna Black.
Local restaurants here in Bloomington are getting creative in order to keep their outdoor seating open during the fall and winter months. Take a look. Many restaurants in Bloomington have turned to outdoor seating as a way to enforce social distancing without losing business. But as the weather is starting to turn colder, they're starting to get creative in order to keep their outdoor seating open. Restaurants like the Village Deli and Nick's English Hut are offering heated tents to keep their customers warm.
I love the cold, so honestly, I would definitely be down to eat outside if they did have the heaters and stuff, because obviously Bloomington gets pretty cold, come December time. But I'm definitely all for it.
And while some think the heated tents are a great idea, others worry they will defeat the purpose of outdoor seating, especially at places where the tents are closed off.
I do kind of worry that we're just turning the outside into the inside by closing off the tents and having no ventilation, which is the whole purpose of eating outside to begin with.
But if there's one thing everyone seems to agree on, it's that they want the outdoor seating to stay. The city has closed off 2 blocks here on Kirkwood Avenue to give restaurants more space for outdoor seating. And as you can see, they're taking full advantage.
That is probably my favorite part of Bloomington. The best thing to come from the pandemic in Bloomington is blocking off the street, because it sort of allows so many more people to come out and walk around and not be afraid to be so close to people.
I think it's pretty interesting. It's cool to see an environment where people can socially distance and still kind of be around people.
I think it's a good idea, and I hope that it stays like this forever.
The blocks from Dunn Street to Grant Street and from Washington Street to Walnut Street along Kirkwood Avenue will remain closed to allow for outdoor seating throughout the week until the end of 2020.
With COVID, having in-person interaction is harder than ever, but IU is looking to change that. Every Thursday, Gloriana's food truck travels to a different spot on campus, providing students with another dining option. Food truck employee Jacob Cox tells us why everyone should make use of this delicious opportunity.
Well, honestly, we've got the best breakfast burrito probably in the state. It's excellent. Yeah, it's definitely worth it.
Be sure to visit Gloriana's next Thursday at Wright Quad, right off of Jordan Avenue.
This week, we asked the IUS TV News crew if they voted in person or by mail. 24 people responded, and the results were split down the middle. 50% said they voted in person, and 50% said they voted by mail. Here are some photos of our members with their I voted sticker or their mail-in ballot. For a lot of our reporters, this was the first time they were able to cast their ballots. We had members voting all across the state and country, here in Indiana or as far away as Tennessee or New York City.
Thanksgiving just around the corner. Is it too early to start the Christmas festivities? Well, I talked to some students around IU about their thoughts.
Thanksgiving leading into December is like the prime time. I'm not too big of a fan personally of putting them up before Thanksgiving, after Halloween, but I definitely think after Thanksgiving is definitely like the perfect time.
My family always does it after Thanksgiving, so I'd say wait till Thanksgiving's over.
I think Christmas season starts after Black Friday. I think we gotta enjoy Thanksgiving while we have it, and any time earlier than Thanksgiving is a little too soon for Christmas season.
However, other students think that Christmas should start a little earlier.
For me personally, I think any time after Halloween is okay, but to get really extreme is after Thanksgiving.
Personally, I think that in past years it should have been like on Thanksgiving or the day after, but since 2020 has been so crappy, I feel like we need to start in November just to get in the holly jolly spirit a little bit sooner.
Let us know what you think by reaching out to us on our social media pages.
The 30th IU Dance Marathon took place virtually this year due to the pandemic, but that definitely didn't slow the dancers down. IU Dance Marathon is a student-run philanthropy here at IU that raises money for Riley Hospital for Children. They have over 1,200 committee members who work to raise money, plan events, and spread awareness about Riley all year round. Their dance marathon takes place every November, where IU students stay awake and on their feet for 36 hours straight, all for the kids at Riley. We have Taylor and Ethan here with us in studio today, who are on IUDM's recruitment committee. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Now, normally IUS TV goes to the event and we have a live stream at the marathon, but this year you guys came to us. Thank you so much. So tell me a little bit about the recruitment committee and what you guys do.
So recruitment works with the freshmen that are coming into IU. We really just educate them and push them to fundraise the most money that they possibly can for Riley. It's a super fun process. We get to meet freshmen individually. This year definitely it was harder because we Zoom only now, so it's fun.
Yeah, and then I mean for me, you know, seeing them kind of progress throughout the year was definitely something that, you know, I wouldn't change. You know, they came in and, you know, didn't know much about IUDM, and I feel like by the end of it, you know, they were just as happy as us, you know, to see the reveal. So it's just cool to see that process.
Yeah, that's great. And so obviously the marathon had to be virtual this year because of the pandemic. What was that like to organize, and how did that all work out?
So recruitment personally doesn't organize it, but we were organized meeting with our committee. We had committee groups and we tested for COVID to make sure that we were okay before we all hung out and made sure everybody was safe. We still wore masks. We still made sure everybody was protected. It stayed 6 feet away. But it was really towards the executive members, logistics, everything that went underneath the marathon. They covered it all. They made sure everything was perfect. Marketing, did the live stream. I mean, everybody did live stream. It was so much fun.
Yeah. So walk me through kind of which events were in person, because I know there were a couple things that you guys did in person, and which ones were virtual.
Everything was basically virtual. There was the flash mob that Morale did around campus with showing their line dance, and then the reveal total that was in cars wearing masks separated from everybody.
And even though almost the whole thing was virtual, you guys managed to raise over, I think it was $2.9 million. You guys must be so proud.
Yeah. I mean, definitely, and we were 95,000 short of, you know, 3 million, which is just crazy to think about this in a pandemic. And, you know, I think it speaks a lot about to what this organization does. You know, we love the marathon, you know, we love being around the people, but that's not what drives this organization. It's the, you know, helping the kids at Riley every day, you know, not just to get to the marathon, but, you know, to know that you have made a change. And, you know, I just, you know, it was lower than, you know, what the past years have been, but, you know, with the given circumstances, I think it meant the most out of any other total reel.
It was crazy. I literally started sobbing when I saw the total.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. I know that you guys had your fundraiser reveal at the tennis center where the marathon normally is, but it was kind of socially distant and people were watching from their cars. But what did that feel like when you saw the big reveal?
It was kind of just a weight lifted off our shoulders. We did so much and we tried so hard. And I just seeing that big of a total during a pandemic, it was just so, it was a lot of loss of words. And I was with some of the freshmen that I mentored in my car. And I was just explaining to them, I was like, this is what we're here for. This is why we do what we do. And I couldn't have asked for a better way to end the 2020 IUDM.
And I personally liked it being in the car a little bit just because I felt like my horn got to express, you know, how happy I was. I don't think I let off it for a minute. But, you know, it was definitely a change, but, you know, the total reveal is what we were there for, you know, no matter how we stood or, you know, sat.
Yeah, definitely. If there's one thing that I know is that from everyone I know who does IUDM, they say that IUDM really is like a family, and especially at such a hard time during this pandemic. I mean, I'm sure it felt so good to have that support system and have something to be so excited about.
Definitely.
I mean, our director, Abby, from the spring break to, you know, the summer, she incorporated Snap Buddies. So each week we would get a new person on our committee to Snapchat with, which sounds a little weird, but you know, I thought it really helped bond some people on our committee. Some people I've never talked to on my committee, you know, I was Snap Buddies with, and so I felt like that was a great way to get that in-person connection in a sense. And so, you know, we were still creating relationships with people, you know, given a global pandemic. But
Yeah, it was just great. We were able to build culture even while on Zoom, and it was just the best experience that we could possibly get.
Yeah, and lastly, for anyone who's interested, how can they join IUDM?
So we do have interest forms going out. We probably have a new one coming out eventually once the new executive council is elected. Then committee applications will be out sent probably in January. And then they can sign up from there. If not, then we can give more information. I would say follow IUDM Marathon on Instagram, anything that you could possibly think of, like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. They will give you all your information that you possibly need.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you guys so much for being here again, and thank you so much for all the work you do for Riley.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, of course. All right. Anna, we're going to bring it back to you.
Coming up, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris graced the cover of Time magazine after winning the election, and a French bulldog was just elected as the mayor of a small town in Kentucky. That and more on Trending Topics after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. This week, President-elect Joe Biden and Kamala Harris became the latest public figures to be featured on the cover of a Time magazine.
The cover shows the two sporting their masks and holding hands on stage for their victory speeches on Saturday. It reads, "A Time to Heal," possibly referring to Biden's speech and his plea for unity that night. And this victory is a milestone for women. Harris is the first woman, first Black person, and first South Asian to be vice president-elect.
This cover capturing the pair's victory will hit newsstands on November 13th.
And Biden and Harris are not the only ones gaining attention in the political realm. A new mayor has taken over a small town in Kentucky, and he's no doggone joke.
Wilbur the French Bulldog was just elected as mayor of Rabbit Hash, Kentucky. Every 4 years since the 1990s, the town has selected a dog mayor. Residents can vote for their favorite canine by donating to their local historical society. Wilbur will be taking the place of former mayor Gwyneth Paltrow, filling some big four-legged shoes.
Wilbur hasn't done any business yet, but I'm sure he will be a possum leader and will make life too rough for the residents of Rabbit Hash. And I don't know about you, but I'm one of those people who starts playing Christmas music like the day after Halloween. And clearly I'm not alone, because Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You is seeing a surge in streaming requests.
Billboard reported the song received more than 1 million on-demand streams in just 2 days this week. That's up 160% compared to the last 2 days of October. Carey came out with a holiday classic in 1994, and it finally hit #1 on Billboard's Hot 100 in December of last year.
And it's looking like this year will be no different, because you know I'm gonna have that song on repeat.
And we end Trending Topics tonight with some sad news. Alex Trebek, the host for the famous quiz show Jeopardy!, passed away on Sunday at the age of 80. He was surrounded by his friends and family at his home in California when he passed.
Trebek left a large legacy in the game show business. He worked as a host for 5 decades, which earned him many awards, including 5 Daytime Emmys. His Jeopardy! Episodes will air throughout Christmas to honor his memory.
The cause of his death wasn't immediately known, but he had been battling stage 4 pancreatic cancer, and no funeral plans have yet been confirmed.
And that's what's up this week. Tune in next week for more local and entertainment news.
And be sure to follow us on our social media. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at IUS TV News.
For What's Up Weekly, I'm Noelle Friel.
And I'm Anna Black. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.